guess for me, of course, there's always that, and I hated it. I hated it. Um, the fact that quote unquote I had to be the perfect kid,
Mm,
Uh, just because I was Pastor Chris's son,
mhm.
or because I was the nephew of Bishop Raphael, if you will. Like you had to be perfect, and I'm just like, no, I'm a kid. My parents didn't put that kind of pressure on me.
Yeah.
Um, they never expected, or they never pressured us to be like, you're going to carry on the torch after, or like you're gonna become a pastor just like me when you're my age or whatnot. And like
Mhm.
my parents never put that on us. They've always been like, what does God tell you to do? Like if it's not take this on, then don't take it on. And I don't plan on to. There are certain aspects about what my parents did that I know that is going to be carried on because that's just ingrained in my personality. But as far as like being a pastor in the traditional sense, no, no, 100% no. No,
Yeah.
it ain't happening. And I hated the fact that people would try and put that kind of pressure on me as a kid. Like you
Mm.
don't even, first of all, you as an adult don't even know what you want to do with your life, and you're trying to tell me what to do with mine. Like, no, you don't do that. Don't do that. Never mind the fact that I am Carol Green's son 100% through and through. So there was no way you was gonna tell me what to do, and my parents already told me like I ain't got to do all that. I remember a time where I did uh, in which what brought up the conversation between me and my parents. I actually did walk in and I told mom and dad in their room was just like I didn't like this is the kind of and the way I described it was I feel like everybody's trying to um, tell me to carry a bus that I don't have the strength to. As a
Mhm.
kid, they're telling me to carry a bus that no one like I can't do that. And never mind the fact I'm not going to do that because that's not what I've been told to do. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You said something really good, which I want to preface and say before I say what I say, which is I never felt any kind of pressure or anything like that from anybody in my family. And I think
yeah,
we have
yeah,
to
no,
really applaud our family. We have to shout them out and really say that because I didn't feel any kind of pressure or anything like that from anybody in my family. Not my parents, not Uncle
yeah,
Ray, not anybody. It was never like, oh, you're gonna do this or you gotta do that or you
yeah,
gotta go to this school. You gotta no,
yeah.
none of that. It was literally was like you can be. At least for my parents, it's like you can be whatever you want to be. Like, what is God telling
Mhm.
you to do? So I
Right.
really have to shout our family out for doing
Yeah,
that. So for a
yeah,
lot of preachers' kids, that's
100%.
not the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like their parents maybe are grooming them, so to speak, and maybe telling them things and maybe making them carry that bus as a kid
Yeah.
when they're off the street too. So
And,
shout out to our family for
and I'm just going to throw it out there because I don't know who's going to end up watching this. Because but if you're if you're a preacher, you're a bishop, whatever title that you choose to call yourself or whatever. Um, if you're pressuring your kids, first of all, if they're backlashing at you anytime stuff goes on, and you know you've been pressuring your
bring
kids
it
to
yourself.
be what you are,
Bring
this
it.
is what the problem is. It really is. This is what the problem is. They don't want to do it because either they already have especially if they have a personal relationship with God and they know that's not what God's telling them to do. And you're literally putting them in the tug of war between what God told me to do and what my parents are telling me to do. And not often do other preachers' kids really have that kind of internal fortitude to be like, I guess I'm just going to make my parents upset because I'm going to do what God told me to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if they're lashing out and stuff like that, and you know they're saved, like you 100% know they're saved, that's what the problem is.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say like the biggest pressure, I don't know, it's kind of like what you said, like people making like those small little comments that get to you eventually, like that, oh, you're gonna be just
Yeah.
like your dad, you're gonna be just like so and so.
I know
And
you're
it's,
trying to encourage me, but you're not, because
yeah, and it's
I
like,
see behind the scenes. Like, I don't think you get that.
yeah,
I see the stuff
everything.
that's going on that
That you don't know
you will
nothing.
never see, you will
Yeah,
never know,
yeah.
because we ain't gonna say nothing about it. But you
Yeah.
don't see the knockout, dragged out fights that go
Oof,
on.
oof.
Like, you don't, and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, you're gonna be just like that, and like,
And
that's
also,
not an encouragement, bro.
yeah, and also, well, a couple things. Well, first of all, I have to say, I don't think that anybody who said that to me said it like obviously to be malicious or put pressure on me. Like, obviously, I don't think that was their intention. It's probably just something cute that they were, they thought they were being cute, like, oh, you're gonna be just like so and so. But mind you, like, it's really confusing when like I know I don't have the same talents as these people. So like, how am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to be just like them when I can't sing? I don't really play an instrument. Can't preach. Don't want to preach. Like things like that. Like how am I supposed to be like this when I have none of these talents? First of all, so that's really confusing as a kid when like you don't know what you want to do, but also the things that people are telling
People around
you to
you,
do, you don't even you're not even thinking the area. Like what am I
right?
supposed to do with this? I don't know. So definitely those small little comments like people like, oh, you're gonna be just like so and so, things like that. Also, like something I was thinking about just now is like the pressure to watch my mouth because I feel like I didn't want to embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, like even and that's something that's so great about this show is that like I'm giving myself permission not to watch my mouth anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the great thing about this show. Like I don't have to anymore. Like of course, like
I ain't gonna say names,
not
but
say no names, but you know what I mean?
we
Like
know.
but I can actually share my experiences and be open and honest and just hope that people, respect it, So yeah, I think another pressure is like the pressure to watch my mouth, to not embarrass my family, to, keep up this not facade. It wasn't a facade, but keep up. I don't know the right word. Like facade or image is not the right word, but like, you know what I mean? Like keep up like the reputation.
This reputation, this prestige that everybody has of us. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, it was just like, and I guess that I know I'm jumping all the way. I'm jumping into into one of the questions that may be asked, but that's why I felt like, especially when it was just when we got those moments where we could literally just have like holidays. I know were art is and will forever be one of our best times of the year, because literally that's one of those times of the year where we could literally just like, this is our time, this is our safe space now.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to share my family with anybody. I don't have to, and even to this day, I still feel like when people come over, I still kind of have to like
act right.
Act at least civilized. Like I ain't gonna talk to you. I ain't gonna walk up to you. I ain't gonna try and start a conversation. And that's to keep me from saying something out of pocket, really.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't want you here because this is my, and that's what it boils down to. Like, I don't want you here. That's the reason why I'm not coming up to talk to you. And is because I want my time with my family. This is one of the few times of the year that I get with my family without sharing them with anybody. And not only that, I can say what I want without knowing that I'm not going to offend anybody, because you know where I'm coming from. Ain't nobody gonna talk about me or anything like that. Like, oh, I can't believe John said this, John said that. Like, they don't care. They know where I was coming from. Especially like everybody usually knows like what was going on in my life and different things like that. So it's just like I said, well, he for the most part, I'm pretty sure like okay, my family knows I said this because, I was hurt because of, what happened like 2 months ago, or something else. And then, or I bring up something that happened like 5 years ago, and somebody who probably just doesn't even really know me, when it comes down to it, it's just like, think of it as something that happened like 2 weeks ago. Like, no, that's something that's done and dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we'll get to that. We have a question about that, people encroaching upon our parents and stuff like that, having to share. So that's a question for just hold tight. We gonna get to that question in a second. But how did you feel like your church friends or peers responded to you or connected with you being a green?
I think the only people I could ever call my peers, especially at Metro, because when we were all growing up, there were a ton of kids. There were a ton of kids. But the only ones that at least I knew I could connect to were the other leadership kids. That's it. Those are the only other kids who would even begin to understand what we go through, especially since we were all always at the church. 100% always there. If we weren't at school, we were at the church. If we weren't at the church, we maybe have gone home because, everything was all done and dealt with. But for the most part, it was school, home, and church. That was about it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, and it's interesting because I remember we talked about this before, and all you guys were saying that you had pretty much all friends whose parents were leaders. And that wasn't the case for me. I had friends who my dad was over the choir. So obviously Thursday nights, my dad's here, your dad's here, your mom's here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had a lot of friends whose parents were in the choir. I had all kind of friends. Actually, you know what? Not for nothing. Now that I think about it, I really didn't connect with the leadership kids. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really just didn't. I mean, we was cool. It wasn't any beef or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, what beef can you have at 9 years old? I don't know. But I really didn't really connect with the leadership kids. I don't know. But all of my friends were I guess I don't want to say regular people because that sounds so messed up. But you know what I mean? All my friends were their parents were involved in different things. Their parents were involved in the choir. Their parents were involved in community care day. Their parents were involved in different things. So I actually really didn't connect with leadership kids. I connected with other people, which is fine. Either one is fine. But
100%.
But I guess, well, maybe not for you because you connected with leadership kids. But I guess the question also can be asked do you feel like your friends treat you a certain way because you're a green, you're Bishop Ray's nephew or anything like that? Was it ooh or was it whatever?
I don't personally think so. There might have been, not that I could really remember. I mean, that was 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
But it's as far as I'm aware, no. I don't think any of them treated me different. They might have felt differently, just because of who my parents were or who I was related to. But I never saw it. As far as I was concerned, a lot of us were treated the same way. Probably not to the extent of the Green family, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them had their own little things that they've had to deal with, just because they were in leadership. None of them have because I haven't really talked to any of them about stuff like this. Just how were you guys treated being in leadership? And there's only a select few now that I know I could have that conversation with. I know I could probably